Hey, Doug. How you doing, sir?
Great. How are you?
Good. Coming off a last game, what are the main things that you want to see cleaned up coming into this one?
The competitiveness, first and foremost. As I told you guys, there was a level of competitiveness and, a standard that we want to see on a night-to-night basis. And first and foremost, like I told you before, we go into diving into X's and O's and schemes and all those things, that has to be met. And that was the first game probably since we made the change in that first Portland game that we hadn't seen that. So first and foremost, that has to be the thing that we see tonight.
What type of challenge do the Clippers pose for you guys? Obviously, they haven't had the season they want, but they've been playing well recently. Have a lot of Hall of Fame level talent. What type of challenge is that for you guys?
Get to the free throw line at a high clip, shoot the best percentage in the league. ISO basketball, obviously. Lower possessions. I think they're averaging about 75 in the last few games. That comes down to a possession game, making sure that we take care of the basketball. We get good shots. But when you have two players like Kawhi and like James, they can make shots, they can carry a game, they can take over a game. So it puts stress on your defense to try to make sure that you are changing up the defenses and being creative enough without, going crazy because of the pressure that they do put on you.
Doug, what are your thoughts on, getting Keegan and Drew back and integrating them into what you're doing, and also not having Dylan back there now all of a sudden?
Yeah, love Dylan. That's a tough one. The kid brings incredible motor, protecting the rim. There's an energy and an enthusiasm and a joy that he plays with that I absolutely love. Glad to have Drew back, fresh legs, body, lively. Obviously, everything that Keegan brings to the game. He's A1 defender, shoots the ball, so many different aspects. Hopefully the wind, we'll have to watch him in that aspect. But just always great when 13 puts a jersey on.
Coach, so transformation from being a player now into a coaching mode, what do you say would be the biggest challenge that you have learned through your first year coaching this full season? How do you command the respect from your guys night in, night out? What's your style of coaching, you would say?
Probably the biggest thing is you're not everybody's friend. Everybody don't love you. You're not going to make everybody happy, man. I'm a more in-your-face style. More than anything. I want a beautiful style on the offensive end of the floor. I want to share the ball, move bodies. Rebound, defend, and share are our principles that we want to do. You got to rebound the basketball for anything. Defense is where it's at. And for the last few games, we've started to trend in the right direction in those two. 300 passes at least and 30 assists is a number that I like to see when we talk about sharing. Yeah.
Hey, Doug, can you just talk about the game of basketball and what it's meant to guys like you, even a guy like T. Lou coming from a small town, and then being a champion and now a head coach? I mean, just the game of basketball and opportunities.
It's for everybody is different, but in your life, certain things just they happen. Whether you meet a person or however you go about it. But, there's a ball in the yard. For some kids in Brazil, it's a soccer ball. For some kids in the Midwest, it's a football, baseball. For a lot of us inner city kids, it was a basketball. And you would never think that a little thing like that full of air can take you around the world, can change your life, can change the fortunes for generations. But it's certainly possible, from continued education to, some have been Olympians and champions and Hall of Famers. Then you take into consideration the lessons that the game teaches you, because there's a lot of life in basketball, teamwork, there's selfishness, there's love, there's respect. I mentioned joy. All those things are things that you experience in life. How do you deal with those in moments that aren't the best? And for all of us, we've had moments where we would look back and be like, I wish I could change that. but life doesn't give you that. So those lessons you learn. It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm probably super blessed and grateful for what basketball, like just being a kid and, you know, playing as a small kid, and then at age 11, first organized basketball, and winning a city championship for Hutchinson Community Center. And from there, just it was nonstop. You know, it was just like high school, you know, middle school, high school, and luckily enough to go to college. And before you know it, it just the game took over my life. So to be as a coach now and trying to pass those lessons forward, to your point, is difficult, because even though I know what's around the corner, they don't necessarily want to hear what I'm saying is around the corner, because sometimes you got to learn for yourself that the stove is hot, as opposed to me giving you that gift that the stove is hot. Yeah.
Coach, Russell Westbrook, can you just talk about his leadership, his tenacity, just the energy that he brings to the team? Of course, we know he's been with the Lakers and the Clippers and now with the Kings. Can you just speak on that a little bit?
Russ is, you know, it seems like as we go through, and I know just like the illustrious career, so many people ask the question, but, you know, he's one of my favorites because I've watched him from afar, and similar to what I just said about our lives, you know, seeing him inner city, wasn't recruited super high, all of a sudden he's at UCLA, no one knows, defensive player of the year, and then hits the NBA, and it's like his will made him who he is, and I have the utmost respect for that. So watching him, and I've said this on a day-to-day basis, is it's an honor and a blessing to coach him, because you learn so much about a true pro, about how he takes care of his body, how he goes about his business, how he you know, has somebody that works on his body, like hydrating, lifting, you know, all the different things that go into being able to stay on the floor, to stay viable, to compete at the level. Like, it's crazy. And to watch him the other night, he passed Magic Johnson. I told him, if you pass Magic in a car, you're doing good. So you pass him on the list, okay, you're doing something. But he's just like, you know, and I know, like, I say, like, I was on the radio in Sacramento, and, you know, I was a Russ fan, and a lot of people call in, and, you know, because he's a little polarizing. But I'm with that energy. I dig that energy. I want somebody, I had to turn it down and turn it up. And that's what he brings. And that's okay. You know, it's part of his DNA and who he is. And for our younger players, there are parts of that are really good to see, because when you're going against somebody that competes that hard, you better damn bring it, because if you don't, you're going to get dominated. And, yeah, it's just an honor. Yeah.
Coach,
wanted to ask you kind of about the rookies. I know Dylan got reassigned, but you've been able to play 3 rookies big minutes because of the situation with injuries.
Yeah.
I know that wasn't part of the plan when the season started, but can you talk about the advantage to that and like what you've seen?
Yeah. You know, so first would just go, when you look at Neek coming in, I thought, you know, he's going to play. And I think we all understood that he was going to get some minutes to the amount. We weren't really sure, but he does so many different things that it's going to keep him on the floor. His learning curve is, you know, he's been thrown out there against some of the best players that this league has to offer, and trying to figure out how to deal with that, how to go about it. Afterwards, watching film with him, talking to him about his experience, what he saw, what he felt. Those are invaluable moments for him. So he's like, all of them are improving before our eyes, but especially on that wing, handling the basketball, all those different things, it's just been great. Max was just thrown into the deep end, just like one day somebody pushed him in and he was like, oh, damn. But to his credit, I didn't know he was a 14-time swimming champion. Okay, so let's he went down, feet touched the bottom, and he pushed back up and grasped air real quick. He's impressed me so much. All the little push shots in the lane, the poise that he plays with. When he comes out of the game, he comes right to me, and we just talk real quick about, you know, what it was, what you saw. you know, why you went for that pump fake, you know, second jumper off the floor, how to block out, the strength. Like, those lessons, we could tell them till we blew in the face, but until they go out there and they feel it for themselves, it's hard for them to grasp it. So these moments have been just crazy good for them. Dylan, the G League is built to help, and it helped him because he came to us, in my opinion, ready to close out with a little bit of knowledge that allowed him to play at a level that I was just like, damn, man, like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Like, he's swinging at everything that comes to the rim. Verticality is on point. He communicates and talks. His physicality, he's not scared. Can switch him pretty much 1 through 5. Does he make mistakes? Yeah, but his heart is right and his intention is good. So it has been invaluable. I can't even say super. You know, like, you don't have what you thought you would have, but you're super excited about what you're going to get. So there's two sides to the coin there, and proud of those guys, man. They've fought, they've experienced good times, heartache, bad times, and even when I pulled them together the other night, I said, you guys remember this, because when we get good, that's when you open your can up, and you remember that. Yeah.
Kawhi coming off a career high. What stands out about the way he stylistically goes about his business?
Kawhi's just damn good, man. You know, mid-range, when the three is falling, you know, he's a self-check at that point, because it's really difficult to deal with somebody who's shooting the ball there, can put it on the floor left and right. You know, obviously tendencies, but the post-up, the fall away, getting to the free throw line, the control of the ball because of the big hands. Like, there's just so many aspects that make it difficult. You're gonna have to show him different looks and live with some of the things that he gets. But he's been playing at an incredible level. I had watched some games earlier, and he hadn't been playing at that level. And then I looked, and it was like 40, and then I looked, and it was like 55. And I was like, right before you played us, that's good. Okay, I see you. But just, you know, incredible player, man. Like, this game has a lot of them, and as somebody who wanted to do it as a kid, got to do it as an adult, I have a respect and a reverence for guys who take the craft that way, because that's how it's supposed to be taken, and he's tough. He's tough. Appreciate y'all.